Hello and welcome to 5 p.m. Plenty to talk about. We were actually discussing in our work group and so many different subjects. The Ashwin Vihari heist, once again revisited by Akashdeep and Bumrah. If you remember, we saved Sydney and thereafter went on to win Brisbane. Will we save Brisbane and go on to win Melbourne? Will Australia think opportunity lost? Will Pat Cummins and Andrew McDonald be pulled up for that not declaring yesterday? 1.5 hours for what? Nathan Lyon, 2 runs of 30 balls, 5 overs down. Will Australia miss that period because they clearly missed a trick by scoring those extra 40 runs of 15, 16 overs? What about the Bumrah-Akash Deep partnership? What about Rahul? What about Ravindra Jadeja joining me? Shubhan Chakraborty, Shomik Chakraborty, Gargi Raut, and Devashish unfortunately is not well. Rohit will also join us. Let me start with you, Shubhan. Your question to Jasprit Bumrah and that batting answer, it's viral everywhere. And Jasprit Bumrah actually today, for me, what stood out was his leadership. Every point he was speaking to Akashdeep, every point. That hit of Pat Cummins, they tried to intimidate, go bouncer after bouncer. He just did not flinch. What an incredible statement from Jasprit Bumrah.
My Twitter account, my WhatsApp, they all are filled with messages and clips of Jasprit Bumrah shot. And no, that question was asked in a different context, but again, I wanted to ask about technical difficulty, and that's why I mentioned you are not the best person to ask this question. But anyway, I think it was a tremendous day of cricket. Rain interrupted, but what Jasprit Bumrah and Akashdeep did will remain with us for a long time. Not only Jasprit Bumrah six, but even Akashdeep six, which pulled Virat Kohli into a frenzy. He was amazed to see Akash smack that six. But I was surprised that they sent Akash at number 11. That was a shocker of a decision. Could have gone anyway. Imagine this partnership, Akash coming at 9, and then Bumrah coming at 10, and this partnership happened. Even if one of them got out and Siraj had come at number 11, then the other batter had a chance to smash a couple of sixes, or at least try to smash a couple of sixes. But anyway, India have avoided a follow and avoided a defeat. That's more important. I don't think we'll get a India defeat from here on. What could happen is Australia can go on to lose this match. I know it's a very wild theory, but uh, if for example India bat out, or India, see, the new ball is just five overs away, so I don't see this partnership going on for long. But if Indian bowlers, Jasprit Bumrah's one spell, you never know. This man has done it so many times. One magical spell, a, a good support from Siraj and Akashdeep from the other. And if India bundles Australia out, and they will also be tired. They have bowled 60 overs. Sorry, they have bowled 80 overs almost. So their bowlers, they are Josh Hazelwood down. So you never know if India can bowl them out for 100, max with 300 runs on board. Yes, it will be again a rain interrupted day on day 5 tomorrow. But if the rain gods stay away, if plenty of ifs, if the rain gods stay away, if Bumrah does the magic, if the Indian bowlers do their magic, and then the batters, we know the batters can do it. They can chase 300 down in a couple of session or 2.5 session. But yeah, it's a wild theory, but anything is possible.
Yeah, it is actually a wild theory. I mean, and it's good. That's good. I love wild theories because my entire life is wild. RevSportz was born out of a wild theory. So you are absolutely entitled to have a wild theory. But truly, Gargi, I mean, it was a match saving effort. That, if not a win, at least a match saving effort. 213 for 9. Rahul tells people at the press conference that I was thinking of batting. Had Australia pulled it off at that point, it was 12-20. So clearly an hour plus of the game left. And all of a sudden, India 2 down, 3 down. Then you're staring at a defeat. And that entire partnership of 30 plus 39 runs, tiring Australia out, pushing Stark, pushing Cummins, physically draining them, frustrating them. I think this could well be the turning point of the series. Gargirov.
100%. Absolutely agree with you that Akashdeep and Bumrah have turned around everything for India. But something very interesting, I'll tell you this. I was watching the broadcasters in the morning and they were showing highlights of Ashwin and Vihari partnership. And then in the evening, the same thing happened. So I don't know how much I manifested it or the broadcasters manifested something like that. But it was definitely, now that I think about it, quite freaky that that happened. But now, when you talk about Akashdeep Bumrah, I think Bumrah is a brilliant leader. I think let's talk about that because you look at the partnership. Akashdeep is obviously someone who's not played a lot of international cricket. You're bound to get nervous, especially when you have so much pressure and you're coming into your second role, which is batting. He's not a, I mean, he's a bowler, so of course, obviously, when he's coming into his second role, so your nervousness absolutely racks up. But the way that Bumrah was guiding him, the way that Bumrah and Akashdeep held that partnership, I think that changed a lot. And I think the most important part here is the mental sort of upper hand India have right now, because nothing is more frustrating when you can't clean up the tail.
দীপ্ত ঘোষ এখনো রোহিত বিরাটকে সেফগার্ড করছেন কেন? ভাই, কে সেফগার্ড করেছে বলতে পারেন? কে? আমরা কি চারজনের মধ্যে মনে হচ্ছে আপনার কেউ সেফগার্ড করেছে? কেউ করছে না তো, তাহলে নিজের মনে এটা ইন্টারপ্রিট করছেন কেন? করবেন না। শ্রমিক, has Akashdeep and Bumrah actually saved Rohit Sharma's captaincy? Have they given Rohit Sharma a lease of life for one match? Have they actually given him that window into Melbourne? Had India lost this match, would Rohit have been able to hold on for another 10 days? Who knows? Your thoughts?
Absolutely. I'm coming to this point, but before that, a couple of things stung firmly in cheek. The optimism that Shubhan oozed, he reminded me of King Alonso in The Tempest. Number one. Number two, at the end of the day, Akashdeep is a Mohan Bagan boy. His career is shaped up in Mohan Bagan. So winning has to be in his DNA, right? Now coming to this,
এটা কি শুভায়নকে এম করা ছিল? শুভায়ন দেখছে না কিন্তু।
so and coming to the point, see, first of all, I mean, yes, Rohit would have been under tremendous pressure if uh, if there was a game, if there was no interruption without this partnership. The only chance for India to save this game was to avoid the follow-on, and they have managed that. And the way they celebrated in that jailbreak moment, and only Test cricket gives you that, because in no other format you can celebrate saving the follow-on or a draw. Test cricket gives you that those moments. That's why you love Test cricket. So that jailbreak moment, it speaks volumes for the fact the team's mentality that now we are out of the woods. So obviously, if I mean, if India would have lost this test, if or eventually I don't see India losing this test, but there would have been a growing clamor for Rohit to relinquish his captaincy, relinquish his position, do an MS Dhoni, stuff like that. He now has another test to look forward to. Um, Once again, I mean, I don't know how much he will contribute with the bat, but at 1-1, you don't take the drastic decision as a captain to step down, because, I mean, the entire Australian media will come and will target you then. And the person, whoever he is, I mean, we know, we have been watching Akashdeep since his United Club days, right? We know he is a capable batter. Several times he saved Bengal in partnership with Shehbaz Ahmed in Ranji Trophy in domestic cricket. And he who took the decision to send Siraj ahead of him in the batting order deserves an honorable mention. Who knows, with Akashdeep coming in place of Siraj, uh, Jadeja would have been more confident. He didn't have to throw his wicket away. He wouldn't have tried to farm the strike. So I mean, it's an inexplicable decision. And unfortunately, we have been seeing such inexplicable decisions, I mean, throughout this series. Things that beggar belief.
Absolutely agree. On that note, let me also go to Rohit, and I will come to Shubhan with the same question. That We are celebrating Rohit, we are celebrating Shubhan, we are celebrating the follow on save, we are celebrating that perhaps this match is a draw. We are celebrating a lot of that, and rightly so. Having said that, think about the Siraj decision ahead of Bumrah and Akashdeep, and you're baffled. Suppose it did not happen this way. Suppose 200 and why did Ravindra Jadeja get out? Because he was trying to farm the strike, last ball, tried to play that hook shot, got out. Had India, sort of had to face the follow on, what would this decision mean? Sending Siraj ahead of Akashdeep and Bumrah. I have still not been able to get my head around the decision, why it was taken. Rohit Juglan, have you been able to come up with a theory? If you have been, tell me.
No, I don't have any kind of theory, but this is the belief of this team. Maybe this is just just my point of view of this situation, that there could be a possibility that maybe Siraj have said them that give me the opportunity. I want to go and do it for the nation. I want to go and do it for Team India. But it's contradictory, because I also gave example in the afternoon show that these similar management this similar management promoted means send him as a night watchman in the Mumbai test, in the Wankhede test. And at that point of time versus New Zealand, that doesn't make any sense, because you have a when you have someone like a Akashdeep, who and it's not only about the aggressive sixes you saw today. If you look at his defense also, the way he was leaving the ball, the way he was tackling each and everything right under his eyes, he was giving you confidence that he can bat. And it's not only about his hitting, that giving you those kind of indications that yes, he can bat. Even a Mohammad Shami can hit balls for sixes. But as far as technically concerned, I think Akashdeep is way ahead. Bumrah, you saw Bumrah hitting a proper hook shot today. That was a proper textbook hook shot which you saw him play, and he played the same in I think Edgbaston also, to Stuart Broad, when he scored that what he replied to Shubhanda also, that Google it. So we were all getting those memories when he was just hitting those sixes. And the way Akash was defending also, I thought it was completely out of the box when they sent Siraj ahead of him. I don't know whether Gambhir want to prove a point, and I'm specifically taking his name because if it was a Rohit Sharma or a team management call, the team call, we could have seen it earlier also, before the India Bangladesh series, before when Rohit Sharma was captaining, because he was captaining from last 3 years. But we never saw that. Siraj mostly at 10 or 11. Siraj mostly at 10 or 11. So I think this doesn't make sense. One thing which I'm thinking is that maybe there was so much of boo around him. He wanted to just let me go and hit these guys for 2 3 sixes. Let me bring this follow on rate a little down, and then onwards, then you have Bumrah also, and you have Akash also. But very important point, which I was also thinking, that what Shamikda said, that what if a Jadeja and Akashdeep giving you a partnership, suddenly you have only 3 wickets down as far as day is concerned, and you can coming tomorrow with a lot of frustration on Australians faces, because today when they were leaving, because of the bad light, that wasn't the time when it was raining. It was also light was coming down really really bad. And after that, when I saw that when the umpires call it's a day, you can see that frustration in their face, because they wanted India to come back again as far as the follow on is concerned, and pick up those 2 3 wickets, what Jasprit Bumrah did on the Perth test. So I think completely it doesn't make any sense, Burela, as far as sending Siraj
Yeah,
up the order.
Shubhan, a lot of these decisions are getting masked by individual brilliance. Masked by individual brilliance. Today, had it been a follow on, we would have just torn Gautam and Rohit apart, saying what is going on. Now, none of us are saying this because, yeah, follow on has been saved. The match will probably be saved as well. But when I think from a counterpoint and think if you were Australian, how on earth do you explain that batting for 1.5 hours yesterday morning? You scored 45 runs, not even that, 405 to 445, 40 runs. You scored 40 runs in some 17 overs. Nathan Lyon scored 2 of 30 balls. You had already got 405. You knew there was rain around. You knew time could be a factor. What was Andrew McDonald and Pat Cummins thinking? For me, it is an absolute brain fade. They lost the opportunity right there. When I think and we criticize the Indian management, the same for Australia. Daft call. Shubhan?
Absolutely, absolutely. It was a shocker to bat for long bat the following day as well and not score runs pretty quickly. Had they gone all out, we could have understood that they are going for runs. They want the scoreboard to be at such a point that Indian team can't come back. But I think it was just a waste of time. I think the reason behind, if I have to think logically also, the reason behind batting long could be that they thought of wrapping up Indian batting quickly and enforce a follow on just to they know that India's batting is not at the best of shape right now, and they can if they are bowling well and if the Indian batters are not batting well, then they can enforce a follow on and wrap the match due to the weather forecast around. But to make Alex Carey bat, Nathan Lyon bat, I don't think it made a lot of sense. And Australia could have and rather should have put India to bat for at least half an hour, not even an hour, half an hour, 5-6 overs of pace bowling. Give your Mitchell Stark and Pat Cummins the new ball, and just try and get some wickets. India did that, and they wanted just 1 or 2 wickets, but in return they got three, and that's what sport is about. If you have to take risk, high risk, high reward strategy sometimes works, sometimes don't work. But if had that worked, then Australia would have been in a pole position to win this Test match and take a 2-1 lead into the series after losing the first Test, and that would have been a great comeback. But what they have done now is they dominated the game. They dominated 80% of the game, 85, 90% of the game. But despite dominating the 90% of the game, they are not in a position to win this match anymore. Uh, and I mean, Gava has become a strange place for this Australians. In last four tests, they have lost two times, once against India, once against West Indies, and now they are heading for a draw. And this used to be a fortress for them. And I wrote I think a piece a few days back where I wrote that it is not the Gavatar anymore. It does not have that aura of traveling teams coming in and fearing the Australian bowling attack. And it's not about the bowling attack alone. It's about their think tank, as you said, Andrew McDonald, Pat Cummins, Daniel Vittori. These are highly qualified coaches, and to for all of them to make such a shocking call. And same goes for the Indian team. Gautam Gambhir, Abhishek Nair, Rohit Sharma, Ryan Deshkate, Morne Morkel, all sending. I am keeping it as a collective unit to send Siraj ahead of Jasprit Bumrah and Akashdeep. It was a shocker call, and as Shomikda rightly said, it could have gone haywire for the Indian team. A bad shot or a good ball. It just takes one good ball to take a wicket, and against the tail ender, the possibility is real. So they not only the Australians missed a trick, India also missed a trick. But for India, I think in a good point, Akash Deep and Jasprit Bumrah saved the day. But for the Aussies, that call I think would pinch them in the remaining week or so since, till the Melbourne Test.
Gargi, plenty of super chats. After this question, take them because otherwise I tend to miss them. Actually, take it. Shubhan, take that. Shubhanda, did you ask Bumrah question? Yes, he did. If so, what is this? Akashdeep is a better batter than Harshit. Was Siraj batting higher? Yeah, we just answered this, buddy.
Hmm.
That it was a shocking call to see Siraj come ahead of.
Yeah, Fish. Harshit can come at number nine. Akashdeep can also come at number nine. And it
Hundred
was a
percent,
shocker, as we all are saying. And yeah,
hundred
I
percent.
don't know whether it has egged him or not, but I enjoyed. We all stood up and clapped after that six in the media box. I mean, we all enjoyed that.
Why not? I mean, that was an incredible good shot. I mean, the pickup was brilliant, and it was a statement shot. Followed has been saved. Now he went for it. It was a statement shot. That was excellent. Gargi, there are more. Just
And
click them
in
because
our Hindi live, I asked KC Vijay Kumar sir from the Hindu group. I asked him about any past player whether which came to your mind after looking at that shot. He named whom did he name, Rohit? याद है?
Mohinder
किसका नाम लिया
Amarnath.
था मैं भूल.
Mohinder Amarnath.
Mohinder Amarnath. I asked R. Kaushik sir about that. The same question. He said Kapil Dev's Natraj shot. So everyone enjoyed. Even the senior most guys in that press box enjoyed that shot by Bumrah.
I actually, oh, you thought about the Bumrah shot, the
Yes, the
six.
the hook. Yeah. Shades
I
of
thought
every
Rohit
shade.
said it. I thought Rohit said it right. I mean, the impact was Washington Sundar six in Brisbane last
Yeah.
time round, and this time it was Jasprit Bumrah. Something happens at the Gabba. Something. Hello, Boryada.
Yeah.
You have covered a lot of cricket. Do you think these kind of small things can be the most defining moments? 100% can, because you are not going to Melbourne 1-2 down. You are going to Melbourne 1-all. You are the moral victor. Australia has not been able to win. It will still start 0-0. It's Fortress Gava, and Australia has not been able to win. Shubhan said 80%. They've dominated 90% of the match. How does it matter? You've not won. You haven't won. And you are now leaving one of your best bowlers, Josh Hazlewood, out. Yes, you've got Scott Boland, but a Mitchell Stark and a Pat Cummins with this load, plus they will take tomorrow, they will be tired. It's not as if they are 25 years old, they are 33, 34 years old. So the load on Pat Cummins and Mitchell Stark will tire them out. This is an aging Australian side. If I was part of that Indian dressing room, I'd fancy my chances in Melbourne. Gargi, take this. This might be a silver lining. However, too early. We've won one innings so far. Required now is aggressive bowling and disciplined batting. Take it.
Yeah, I think when we look back at the start of the game, the bowling is where we faltered. Of course, you have to you consider the top order that collapsed as well, but at the same time, the bowling wasn't great. Anyone except not a lot of bowlers except Bumrah, maybe. Sorry, Bumrah and uh, who was Akashdeep. Yeah, I think apart from that, the bowling wasn't up to the mark, and that's what gave the match away to Australia in the first place. So right now it's like we were talking in the morning as well. It's about that body line bowling. It's about tight bowling, discipline. Keep drying up runs because you know that these Australian batters do get frustrated when they're not scoring. Their single doubles are not coming, and that's how you get those wickets.
I do think. Just play that super chat one more time. Play that super chat one more time. Yeah, I think when you say more aggressive bowling, aggression is not defined by what Siraj showed. He's being aggressive, but the bowling wasn't aggressive. Just body language being aggressive and trying that out doesn't really work. Aggression and intent, these are not defined. Intent is not defined by a big shot. Shubman Gill did not show intent. That was foolishness. Yashashvi Jaiswal was not intent. Intent was Bumrah and Akashdeep, by the way. Block, block, block. Nobody played big shots from ball one. Block, block, KL Rahul, intent. Ravindra Jadeja, intent. How many big shots did Ravindra Jadeja play? And that was my next question. Rohit Juglan, Ravindra Jadeja, first test match of the series. कितना बॉल बीट हुआ यार? Hardly एक. वो पैट कमिंस वाला जो हैंडल पे लग के बाउंड्री. Outside off stump, श्योरिटी देखो, assurance देखो, confidence देखो. क्या इनिंग्स था? बताइए.
नहीं, ऑब्वियसली मतलब अगर आप देखोगे दो चीजें, अगर आप रविंद्र जडेजा की बैटिंग में देखोगे, एक, उन्होंने अपने विकेट को बिल्कुल भी इस तरीके से नहीं रखा कि मैं सिर्फ ब्लॉक 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 गेम खेलूंगा। आप देखिए उन्होंने ऑलमोस्ट 20 ओवर के करीब बैटिंग करी है, खुद 120 के आसपास उन्होंने बॉल खेला है, बट उन 120 बॉल्स में अगर आप देखोगे तो ऐसा नहीं है कि उन्होंने सिर्फ 30 रन बनाए या 40 रन बनाए। वो सिर्फ टाइम बैट आउट नहीं करना चाहते थे कि मैं सिर्फ बैटिंग करके पूरा का पूरा बॉल डॉट्स खेल के टाइम निकाल लूं या अपने एक शेल में चला जाऊं। उन्होंने प्रेशर भी बनाया और वो एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पारी थी केएल राहुल के जाने के बाद, जिसने हमें फॉलो ऑन से आगे लेकर गई जो पारी। अगर उस पारी ने आपके नीतीश कुमार रेड्डी के साथ जो पार्टनरशिप की, अगेन उन्होंने नीतीश कुमार रेड्डी को भी अगर आप देखोगे तो उन्होंने भी 60 ऑड बॉल्स खेला है। तो अगर आप अपनी नीचे की बैटिंग देखोगे तो रन्स बनाना फोकस नहीं था आज फोकस ये था कि अगर बारिश नहीं पड़ी है बहुत ज्यादा, क्योंकि बारिश ने आपका 1.5 घंटा खराब किया, मैक्सिमम 90 to 100 मिनट्स आपके बारिश ने खराब किए। उसके अलावा आपके बैटर्स ने बैट आउट ही किया है। तो अगर एक केएल राहुल क्लोज टू 20 ओवर्स या मैक्सिमम उससे ज्यादा ओवर्स खेल रहे हैं, एक जडेजा 20 ओवर्स के करीब खेल रहे हैं, एक नीतीश कुमार रेड्डी आपके 10 ओवर खेल रहे हैं, फिर जसप्रीत बुमराह और आकाशदीप मिला के 10 ओवर साथ में खेल रहे हैं, 30 बॉल्स। तो आपको ये पता चल रहा है कि कैसे आपकी बैटिंग, और मेरे को लगता है वो केएल राहुल के आउट होने के बाद जिस तरीके से जडेजा ने संभाला वो आई थिंक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट था। और जैसा आपने कहा, फॉल शॉट नहीं था, कोई शॉट ऐसा नहीं था जिसमें एज लगा हो। यहाँ तक कि वो स्वीप कभी नहीं मारते, मतलब बहुत कम, रेयरेस्ट ऑफ रेयर ओकेजन जहां पे आप जडेजा को स्वीप मारते हुए देखते हैं, यहाँ पर उन्होंने स्वीप मारे और ज्यादा से ज्यादा रन्स करने की कोशिश की। तो आई थिंक मेरे लिए जडेजा का सबसे बड़ा स्ट्रॉन्ग पॉइंट यही था कि पहला मैच खेल रहे थे, उनका काम, मतलब उनकी बॉडी, उनको माइंड ये कह सकता था कि भाई तू अपना विकेट बचा ले, तो अपना विकेट बचा ले, अगर तेरे को मेलबर्न में जगह चाहिए तो तू सिर्फ खड़ा रहे, रन भी नहीं बनाएगा, तेरा काम हो जाएगा। बट उन्होंने रन्स भी बनाए, खड़े भी रहे, बाकी खिलाड़ियों को भी अपने साथ खिलाया। और ये पिछले 4-5 साल में, अगर मुझे याद आता है 2021 का WTC फाइनल, उन्होंने जो है नॉन स्ट्राइकर एंड में जो बॉलर्स थे उनको ज्यादा स्ट्राइक दे रहे थे, अगर आप आज भी देखोगे 2021 का फाइनल। और दुनिया यही बोल रही थी भाई तू अपने पास स्ट्राइक, बॉलर्स को क्यों दे रहा है। बट उन्होंने उस चीज पर बदलाव किया, और 2021 की उसके बाद की जो इंग्लैंड सीरीज थी उसमें उन्होंने एक अपॉर्चुनिटी और आई जहां पर उन्होंने बोला कि नहीं मैं अपने पास रखूंगा, ईशांत शर्मा थे उनके साथ, तो उन्होंने अपने पास मैक्सिमम स्ट्राइक रखी। तो ये चीज, और यहाँ आज भी वो चीज जब मैंने देखी तो लगा ये कि हाँ, रविंद्र जडेजा भले ही काफी लास्ट पार्ट ऑफ हिज करियर में है, बट नाउ ही नोज कि उनको टेल एंडर्स के साथ कैसे बैटिंग करनी है और अपनी बैटिंग को कैसे आगे बढ़ाना है। सो आई थिंक उन्होंने अपनी मेलबर्न की सीट जो है वो बुक कर ली है मेरे हिसाब से। कल हालांकि ऑब्वियसली एक और टेस्ट होगा, बट मुझे लगता है उनकी मेलबर्न की सीट बुक हो चुकी है।
200%. I've just done a column saying that he can walk into this side as a batter. Add his fielding, he can walk into this team as a batter. You don't have
Yes.
confidence in that batting lineup. Ravindra Jadeja is one of your better batters. So 100% correct, Rohit Juglan. But Gargi, there are multiple more super chats. Just take these out because otherwise they tend to sort of accumulate. Potential field placing for head, two slips, gully, third man, are bapre. Fine leg, backward point, deep cover, ये एक वैगन व्हील बना के देना पड़ेगा, तभी इसको समझ आएगा। बट क्षितिज मोरे, टू स्लिप्स, ओके, गली, थर्ड मैन, डीप, फाइन लेग, बैकवर्ड पॉइंट, backward point, deep. What is the difference between point? I mean, how do you want to place this? You have a third man, you have a point, you have a backward point, you have a deep point, deep square leg and cover. No, I think the offside is becoming a little problematic here.
Today there was a situation when Jadeja was batting. There was a very straight fine leg. There was a very straight third man, and there was a slightly fine-ish fine leg, like slightly in the towards the square, a fine leg, deep fine leg. So there were three fielders placed in that zone, and they were pepping bouncers against Jadeja. So that was very interesting field placements, and that came to my mind after reading this one. But the bowlers will have to execute. This is a very good plan actually. I think we can remove the point if you are putting backward point and deep, and put the gully in the slighter wider position. Wide gully would do the job if you remove the point, and then keep put that point to a short forward leg if you are pepping bouncers against him. So this can do the job, but for that your Mohammad Siraj or an Akash Deep will have to bowl according to that. The third man will have to be very straightish just near the side screen. I think this can do the job against Travis, and this has this field placement, what Kshitij has written, has done the job against Travis, but other teams have executed their bowling plans uh, pretty well against head. But our bowling coach Morne Morkel said that they wanted to come over the wicket and bowl fuller, slightly fuller in the straighter lines to Travis head. That is actually not what you want to bowl against head.
I'll
Yeah,
just
we'll see
just
what
put
India
the
does because
I'll just put the
you've got
backward
to get
point
there.
into the slip area. Just put the backward point in the flying slip area, and the covers will come in at short leg. That will be it.
खराब नहीं है ये, अच्छा आइडिया है. There's another one, Gargi. Let Shomik take that. Jadeja with a batting average of 36, bowling average of 23 is close to 80 tests. Do you guys think one of the greatest all-rounders? 100%, Shomik, take that. 100%. 100% correct.
I mean, see, Ravindra Jadeja's batting average in Australia in Test is, I think, if I'm not wrong, is a 50 plus in Australia, right? Number one. Ravindra Jadeja is priceless. Ravindra Jadeja, if anyone, I won't name anybody, if anyone is trying to phase him out, they are making a big mistake. You won't get a player like Ravindra Jadeja in a supermarket. He is a champion in the sense, in terms of his mentality, he revels under pressure. He takes responsibility. when he was dropped from the Indian team, he went to domestic cricket. He scored 3 triple hundreds, came back to the Indian team. When he has been pushed now, he has come back to the Indian team with the, I mean, even considering KL Rahul played the new ball, and absolutely hats off to him. He has been India's best batsman in this series. He has been giving a master class in playing with the soft hands and playing close to the body. But I mean, under pressure in the middle order, Ravindra Jadeja is your best bet because he never gives up. I mean, we big up players from other countries. We had so many young bottom. We had so many young bottoms in England after the great man called it a day. Nobody fulfilled the potential from, I mean, Derek Pringle to Andrew Flintoff and I mean whatnot. But the thing is that when we don't celebrate our cricketers in the sense, you will not get a Ravindra Jadeja every day. He is, I mean, he is, once again, I will go to that word, he is priceless. Ravindra, numbers for a for an all-rounder, 36 test average is, you know, how, I mean, how much effort it takes to have an average of 36 for an all-rounder. It's no joke. 36 is no joke in test cricket. So we need to put things in perspective and appreciate the fact that Jadeja is a special player.
Absolutely. Now let's take
Jadeja is the second best batting average this test season after KL Rahul. 24,
and,
25.
and 2021 turnaround, we keep giving credit to Ajinkya Rahane's 100. That same match, Ravindra Jadeja's 50 was as important. As important. So please don't forget that. Yes, Shomi, quickly.
Just one point I forgot. Today, during the entire display, the shot of the day was, I mean, Jadeja played the shot of the day. It was not a 4, it was not a 6. Pat Cummins went round the wicket, made one rear of a good length right into Jadeja's chin. And he went on his toes with a straight bat, and the ball sort of rolled down his bat face. It was incredible batting. That was the shot of the day.
And his defense, like
I
I
still
said,
give Bumrah the shot of the day. I still give Bumrah the shot of the day.
yeah. I mean, but Ravindra Jadeja was brilliant. A lot of people are talking about this, so let's actually take this. That there is a lot of criticism and trolls or whatever about the Indian celebration. Which idiot is trolling who and why? I mean, if Indian team is celebrating, saving the follow-on, that's the beauty of sport. By the way, trolls are like toilet paper. I mean, flush them out, finished. But who's trolling who? If Virat and Rohit and Gautam are celebrating, and the dressing room as a collective is celebrating that they've saved a match, why are you? What is the problem? In fact, they are going into Melbourne thanks to this partnership, one all, and they might just win the series from here on. What is the problem? Why should they not celebrate? Give me one reason why should they not celebrate. Gargi, where do you stand on this? I'll also take a comment from Shubhan and Rohit.
Makes no sense to me. I mean, how can you troll someone for celebrating? What's the point of that? And if they hadn't celebrated, they would have been like, oh, the Indian team's shoulders are down and this and that. Their body language doesn't look positive. So it's you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. So at this point, just don't think about it. Simple as that.
Yeah, Rohit, agar number 2 batter, number 3 batter, number 4 batter, coach, captain, leader, ये सारे प्लेयर्स इनको बैक कर रहे हैं, सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, तो प्रॉब्लम क्या है? लोग ट्रोल क्यों कर रहे हैं? पागल लोग हैं क्या? हाँ, पागल तो है ही.
नहीं, मुझे सिंपल तौर पर एक चीज लगती है कि आप लार्जर, मेरे हिसाब से जो लोग देख रहे हैं वो लार्जर पिक्चर देख रहे हैं शायद. मतलब ऑब्वियसली ट्रोल करना तो सही नहीं है, बट मेरे हिसाब से लोग लार्जर पिक्चर देख रहे हैं कि आप ये भी देखिए कि आप इस टेस्ट मैच में अभी कहां पर हैं. वो लास्ट का एक मोमेंट आ गया था जब 2 दिन से मतलब हम लोग भी बिल्कुल डाउन थे. इस मैच में हम कहीं नहीं थे. एडिलेड की हार थी, कहीं नहीं थे वहां पर भी. उस मैच में भी 10 विकेट से हार रहे हैं. यहाँ पर आए, आपकी बैटिंग सब बहुत बुरी स्थिति में था. सडनली आपको एक ऐसा मोमेंट मिला है जहां पर कोई फाइट कर दिखा रहा है. और दिन भी बहुत अच्छे तरीके से शुरू हुआ ना. मतलब ठीक है, केएल राहुल का कैच छूटा, बहुत आसान सा कैच स्टीव स्मिथ ने छोड़ दिया, पहला ही बॉल था. उसके बाद से जो एक पार्टनरशिप लगी, फाइट दिखाई इंडिया ने फाइनली, मतलब पर्थ के डे 2 के बाद यहाँ पे कुछ देखने को मिला जहां पे आप कोई पार्टनरशिप देख रहे थे और सडनली आपने देखा कि चलो एक 50 रन की पार्टनरशिप हो रही है, फिर वो पार्टनरशिप आगे बढ़ रही है, फिर एक नीतीश कुमार रेड्डी और रविंद्र जडेजा की पार्टनरशिप हो रही है। तो सडनली आपको वो एक आज के दिन में मोमेंट मिला जहां पर आपने बोला चलो यार कुछ तो है कम से कम। मतलब इससे उल्टा हम ये होता कि इस टेस्ट मैच में बहुत पहले ही अब मोमेंट हमारा निकल जाता अगर केएल राहुल का वो कैच हो जाता। हु नोस कि अभी तक हम 5 विकेट डाउन होते और कल शायद ऑस्ट्रेलिया को आकर 5 या 4 विकेट लेने पड़ते इस टेस्ट मैच को जीतने के लिए। बट वहां से मैच पूरी तरीके से उलट गया है। तो मेरे हिसाब से जो जो ट्रोल्स हैं, जो एक मतलब ये सब बातें कर रहे हैं, वो उसी तरीके से हैं जो मुझे अंबाती रायडू का वो बयान याद आता है आरसीबी की जीत के बाद, जो उन्होंने चेन्नई के अगेंस्ट जीती थी, कि ये लोग ऐसे क्यों सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हैं, क्या हम आईपीएल जीत चुके हैं क्या आरसीबी वाले। सो उस मोमेंट की जो महत्वता थी वो शायद आरसीबी वाले समझ पाएंगे। आज इस मोमेंट की जो इंपॉर्टेंस थी वो शायद ड्रेसिंग रूम समझ रहा था कि ये पारी कितनी ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है। कई बार हम कल इस बारे में बात भी कर रहे थे। ट्रेविस हेड ने 89 स्कोर किया था पर्थ में, ऑस्ट्रेलिया कहीं नहीं थी गेम में, बट वो बंदा अपना इंडिविजुअल कॉन्फिडेंस लेकर गया अगले टेस्ट में। उसने एडिलेड में 100 मार दिया, उसने पर्थ में 100 मार दिया। मैं जस्ट ये बात कह रहा हूं कि केएल राहुल इस इनिंग्स के बाद, पर्थ की इनिंग्स के बाद, अगर टीम के काम नहीं भी आई ये पारी, चलो मैं कह रहा हूं अगर इंडिया कल हार भी जाता है तो भी मैं कहूंगा कि इंडिविजुअली आप देखो आप इस टेस्ट मैच से कितना कुछ लेकर जा रहे हो। एक रविंद्र जडेजा लेकर जा रहे हो, एक केएल राहुल लेकर जा रहे हो, एक मोर कॉन्फिडेंट आकाशदीप लेकर जा रहे हो। जिस तरीके से उसने अपने क्रेस्ट को दिखाया, एक तरीके से वो एक बहुत ही पंपिंग मैसेज था। जिस तरीके से ड्रेसिंग रूम सेलिब्रेट करने लगा, आपने एक मतलब एक पूरी तरीके से डाउन पड़े हुए ड्रेसिंग रूम को जिंदा कर दिया। उस बॉल से पहले ड्रेसिंग रूम की पूरी सुबह से एक तस्वीर भी नहीं दिखाई गई थी और उस वक्त पर आपका ड्रेसिंग रूम एक्टिव हो गया। मेरे हिसाब से जो लोग ट्रोल कर रहे हैं वो लोग बिगर पिक्चर देख रहे हैं कि अरे यार फॉलो ऑन बचा रहे हो और खुशी मना रहे हो। लेकिन उस मोमेंट को, अगर आप सिर्फ उस मोमेंट को जी बहुत ही माइक्रो उस मोमेंट को जीना चाहोगे तो आपको समझ में आएगा कि उस मोमेंट की
मुझे
इंपॉर्टेंस कितनी
मुझे
ज्यादा।
ये भी लग रहा है शुभन, ये जो ट्रोल कर रहे हैं या ये जो कॉन्टेक्स्ट है, मैं एक्चुअली समझने का कोशिश कर रहा हूँ। इफ आई ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड, आई थिंक पीपल डोंट अंडरस्टैंड टेस्ट मैच क्रिकेट. दिस इज अ T20 generation that you can actually save a test match and it will be as important as a win. If India saves this test match, that is as important. Sydney last time with Hanuma Vihari and Ashwin was as important as a win. I don't think people get that a draw or 10 maiden overs on the trot or batting out the new ball can be as important as scoring, say, 50 runs or 25 balls. I don't think people get that. And maybe the trolling is coming from there. From the perspective of the series, I think this partnership is the defining one. So India has every reason to celebrate Shubhan Chakraborty.
I completely agree, and it has uplifted the entire dressing room, going by how they were enjoying the entire moment. And as Gargi also said, if you are damned, if you do, if you don't, then also you are damned. And this is a very correct statement of how things are going. And if the dressing room, if the dressing room is being lifted by something, then what's the harm in that? And cricket is the only sport where two teams can battle out for 5 days and end up shaking hands with a draw. So enjoy the moment. I think a couple of days back we were all staring at a defeat, a gloomy defeat, saying, "Oh, this team is done. The seniors are done. Let them retire. Start all the new guys." We were all criticizing the team. We are still criticizing the team, the players who have not performed. But at the same time, if something positive has come out from this, is that the India has saved a follow and avoided a defeat. That's the biggest positive from the Brisbane Test match. It is not वो हिंदी में बोलते हैं ना, हलवा नहीं है ऑस्ट्रेलिया को ऑस्ट्रेलिया में आके हराना. If the team heads into the Christmas period, New Year period with a and the festive season, all the families are some of the family members of the families of the players are here, and if they get a good weeks of time with some peace, some good time with the family, celebrating the Christmas with them in Melbourne, and then start afresh in a two-match series. As Shubman Gill said in the press conference, we are taking it as a three-match series. One has now ended in a draw. It's now a two-match series. If you even draw this series, you will retain the Border Gavaskar Trophy and make Australia wait for another 2 years for this BGT. I am not going about WTC. I still feel India can qualify for WTC even if it ends in a 2-2 draw. Uh, because Australia will be going to Galle to play two tests against Sri Lanka, which is an incredibly tough task for any non-subcontinent team. So it's going to be Prabhat Jayasuriya is going to be a big headache, and he's going to make life tough for these Aussies in a month's time. But coming to the dressing room celebration, they have every right to celebrate. Did whoever is trolling, I'll ask them, did they not celebrate that Jasprit Bumrah hook shot? Did they not celebrate when Akashdeep tonked Pat Cummins for a six? All did. We all did. And if the dressing room is also doing so, then what's the harm?
I just want to make a point.
Yeah, sure. Bolo.
I just want to make a point here. See, the fact is that I am not on other social media platforms. What I've been seeing on Twitter, these trolls are basically coming from Pakistani handles. What I've been bumping into. These trolls, majority of these trolls are coming from Pakistani handles. And even talking about the bigger picture. See, dressing room doesn't see things that way. Sport is about moments, and dressing room sees it that way. I mean, such kind of occasions give you the moments of catharsis. It's a releasing, it's a relief, it's a moment of catharsis. This is the this partnership could be the series defining, because India in any case has a very good record in Melbourne, and SCG always shoots the Asian team. So from that point of view, and it is not a cricket is not a case in isolation. Even in football, when a team pulls off an equalizer in the dying moments, they celebrate that way. They are not winning the game, but once again, it's a moment of catharsis. And bigger picture, when you recollect your emotions in tranquility, you consider about the bigger pictures. But when the live action is on, dressing room focuses on this sort of moments. This is it.
Yeah,
So,
let
Megda,
me
let's
put this
not talk about football and goals in dying moments.
Absolutely.
No, let's
let
not
me
talk
Absolutely.
put
about goals in dying moments. No, we are
No, no,
not.
I will talk about it
We
for
are
the
not
next
going.
1 week.
We are not going into that zone.
let me put this into perspective clearly, and then we'll take the final round of comments. KL Rahul clearly said in the press conference that he was thinking about batting. And what's wrong in that? 213 for 9, you win because you have to mentally get yourself focused. So the dressing room thought that it would be a follow on. And as all of us are saying, the new ball would have done far more than that old Kookaburra. And Australia, a couple of unplayable deliveries, 2 wickets, 3 wickets down, and India would be staring down the barrel. So they knew that if they were not able to play this session out, they could lose this game. What's the problem in celebrating? That's why I keep saying Test cricket is fundamentally different than compared to anything else. It is a challenge of a very different nature. No T20, nothing will ever come close to a Test series. By the way, Amit is asking, what are your thoughts on Pujara's comment on Kohli? I don't listen to commentary, Amit. If you write here, I will definitely tell you what I think. But I don't. I find commentary boring because I analyze my own game. I find commentary very boring. So just tell me what he said, and I will hundred
I
percent
think
agree with you.
Sideshwar Pujara said that Virat Kohli's technique is not made for the new ball. His batting should come after 10, 15, or 20 overs. If he plays the new ball, the bowlers are fresh and their confidence is also high. When they get 2 wickets, the entire team is charged up. Something on this similar lines. That's
Well,
what I could gather from
yesterday,
this.
yesterday we discussed this. That Shomik actually was making this point on the show that every time Virat Kohli is coming in at 5 for 2, 6 for 2, 7 for 2, give him a decent platform like in Perth. And nobody is saying that every innings, but come on, even the openers need to score. Jaswal hasn't contributed. Gill has it. Kohli comes in. No one's protecting Kohli, by the way. None of us are. Kohli looks like a sitting duck outside off stump at the moment, and that's a clear-cut statement. He needs to improve. He can't chase balls. He can't play hard. All that is taken. Having said that, there is no protection either from the top order. Nobody's given him that cushion at number 4. So the batting as a collective, and that's what makes Ravindra Jadeja's innings so standout, because the batting as a collective has failed. Even Rishabh Pant, we want a far more tangible contribution than Rishabh Pant than compared to what we have. Than compared to what we have. Okay, last round of questions. I'll start with Gargi. Gargi, if you were in the Australian dressing room, you've lost Hazelwood, your captain is overbowled, your premier bowler is overbowled. Mitchell Marsh, you don't have confidence in. That's why you did not even ask him to bowl practically. So either he has a niggle or he has a problem. You have not even given him the ball. What signal are you sending? Nathan Lyon is almost ineffective. So where does Australia go from here? You have not been able to, with your premier bowling attack, not been able to take India's number 11.
Like I said, that's the most frustrating part, and that's where India actually gained the psychological edge over Australia today. I think it was the last moments, that Akashdeep Bumrah partnership, that gave India the psychological edge in this game, because the all the points you mentioned, I think Australia will really be thinking hard right now about what to do next, because they've been unable to restrict India, and India has now avoided the follow on. So one will be that uh, they'd be cursing themselves for that. Second is whatever happened with the this morning with the Pat, and who was batting with him, that 30-40 balls that they sorry, 1.5 hour that they wasted. They'll be thinking about that as well. And now with Hazelwood gone, it's the bowling looks very what's the right word, it's not as penetrative as we once thought it would be. Not taking anything away from Scott Boland or anything else, but now that they have this, India has this psychological edge, I think they just need to take on the momentum heading into Melbourne. Now this match is heading for a draw, but heading into Melbourne, I think it will be a great leveler, and it's only going to make things more exciting.
Somebody is saying Shomik nailed it by saying it's coming from Pakistan. If it is coming from Pakistan, I wonder, anyway, they are lunatic. We've seen their entire response to the Champions Trophy. So this would be a new one where they might try to get some social media currency, nothing more. Closing comments. Shubhan, I'll start with you. If you were India, what's the plan for tomorrow? What's the plan for tomorrow? Give Australia a bit of music, because Australia might open with Travis Head. If I was Australia, I would open with Travis Head. I'd open with possibly, Travis Head and Mitchell Marsh, and say, go, give me 150 runs or 120 runs in 15 overs.
Travis Head as a test opener has been a disaster. Mitch Marsh as an opener, I don't know, at least in test cricket. But yeah, they can give it a good crack. Uh, at number three, Travis Head would make a lot of sense because even Usman Khwaja, although he has not played a flary knock in a while now. Actually, they can open with Marnus Labuschagne or Steve Smith if they want. Steve Smith has opened their innings quite a few times in Test cricket, and going because Steve Smith has played a bit of T20 cricket also. He can possibly be their best bet to for some unorthodox shots and try to pile up the pressure. But I think it's a wild theory. I'm not seeing Australia declaring before setting up at least a 350 run target. They would have that memory of the Gawa win of the Indian team last time around, and they would know that this Indian team, Rishabh Pant is a freak. They can send Rishabh Pant at 3 or 4 and say just do what you want. Yashasvi Jaiswal is a stroke maker. You never know. Rohit Sharma might open seeing a 350 run target on board and say, okay, I'll give it a crack, 30-40 runs like the way I bat in ODI and T20I. I'll try and give it a crack. Shubman Gill at number 3 is a natural stroke maker. So anything below 350, if Australia does that, then it would be a very, very risky and a very brave, bold move. So I'm not seeing that. But before I wrap up my thing, keep an eye on Australia's over rate. I think they can be docked a few points, and WTC scenario would even get interesting there.
We discussed this, Shubhan, in the last show, but still
Right,
4.5 overs to go, because India has
right,
batted 74.5 or whatever. So
right.
5 more overs India has to play. If they do, then Australia is in serious trouble. Then they are in
I
serious
think
trouble.
I think the message will be that also to Bumrah and Akashdeep. They sent a couple of messages when Akash and Bumrah were batting, and Akash was a bit jittery. He wanted to play his stroke. We know Akash likes to free his arm, so Virat Kohli sent someone to just say "Khelo pura" or "Khelo follow on, bachao." That's your most important. But now, when all the hysteria around this partnership is cooled down in the team hotel, I think there will be thoughts about that WTC final and the slow over rate and how it can dampen Australia's plan. And if they are docked points, then I think Australia's morale will even go down, more down.
I think that is a very realistic possibility. I said
Right.
this in our last show, and we spent a lot of time. Rohit Juglan, final question for you. इसके बाद क्या नया आकाशदीप? अब जब ऐसे इनिंग्स खेलते हो, फर्स्ट इनिंग्स में आप अनलकी थे, मोरल डाउन, 14 बार बीट किया, फिर भी एज नहीं लगा, ये नहीं हुआ, वो नहीं हुआ, ऑल ऑफ अ सडन आप हीरो बन गए, ऐसे मैच ऐसे इनिंग्स खेल दिया आपने। अब जब रेड चेरी मिलेगा, बॉल तो आपको मूव करना आता है, वेदर इट इज हियर वेदर इट इज मेलबर्न, डिफरेंट आकाशदीप ऑल ऑफ अ सडन। रोहित,
जस्ट रोहित के
बिल्कुल
स्टार्ट करने से पहले वो -10 पॉइंट होगा अगर ऑस्ट्रेलिया इंडिया 80 ओवर खेल जाती है तो, -10 स्लो ओवर रेट के लिए।
बिल्कुल। आई थिंक आकाशदीप आज भी जितने पम्प्ड थे, मुझे नहीं लगता कि उनको बहुत ज्यादा उस चीज का भी मलाल होगा कि वो उनको विकेट नहीं मिला। बिकॉज अब क्लियरली, मतलब जो लोग टेस्ट क्रिकेट समझते हैं, जो लोग क्रिकेट समझते हैं, वो लोग सिर्फ स्कोर कार्ड नहीं देखते हैं कि क्या हुआ क्या नहीं, वो पूरा टेस्ट क्रिकेट देखते हैं। और उस टीम में ऐसे लोग हैं जिन्होंने उनको बाकायदा बोली होगी ये बात कि तूने बहुत अच्छा बॉल किया है। जब स्टीव स्मिथ सामने वाला बैटर आपकी तारीफ कर रहा है, तो आपके अपने जो बैटर्स हैं, जो आपके अपने वर्ल्ड क्लास प्लेयर्स है, वो भी, और खुद आकाशदीप इतना, मतलब इंग्लैंड सीरीज से इतना अच्छा उसको डेब्यू मिला, और उसके बाद से जिस तरीके से वो अभी तक खेलता है, ही हिमसेल्फ नोज कि आज मैंने बढ़िया बॉलिंग करी है। कई बार वो रिफ्लेक्ट नहीं करता है आपकी विकेट टैली में। बुमराह ने भी उस बात को बोला। सो आई थिंक यस, थोड़ा मोटिवेटेड होने के लिए, लेकिन आपको कुछ तो ऐसा चाहिए होता है कि एकदम से ड्रेसिंग रूम में जब आप वॉक इन करो तो लोग तालियां बजा रहे हैं, विराट कोहली आपके पैट ऑन द बैक दे रहे हैं। और इस टीम के यंगस्टर्स में अभी भी एक वो ऑ है विराट कोहली को लेकर के ना, ये जो अभी अभी पिछले 1 1.5 2 साल में आए हैं जो लड़के, उनमें अभी भी है कि विराट भाई, विराट भैया, इधर से निकल जाओ, उधर से निकल जाओ, विराट भाई इधर से आ रहे हैं तो वो रास्ता अभी छोड़ दो। मतलब ऐसी चीजें मैंने नोटिस करी हैं कि मतलब विराट कोहली अगर जा रहे हैं तो मतलब वो जा रहे हैं तो बस वो जा रहे हैं, तो उनका एक ऑ है। तो अगर वो किसी को गले लग, जैसे ध्रुव जुरैल के साथ उनकी बड़ी कमराडरी दिखी है यहाँ पे, तो अचानक से आप ध्रुव जुरैल का कॉन्फिडेंस ऊपर जाते हुए देखते हो। वैसे ही आकाशदीप जब आज एंटर कर रहे थे तो सब लोग नीचे आ गए थे, स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम टी दिलीप, सबसे आगे टी दिलीप खड़े थे। वो पूरी तरीके से एक जबरदस्त वो पंचिंग हो रही है, और एक एक वो एनर्जी फील हो रही है आपको कि सडनली आकाशदीप की वजह से, जसप्रीत बुमराह की वजह से ये ड्रेसिंग रूम रिलीव कर गया है। तो मेरे हिसाब से उसका बहुत असर पड़ता है। आज जिस तरीके से वो पम्प्ड अप थे पूरी तरीके से, जब वो शॉट भी उन्होंने खेला, और उसके बाद जिस तरीके से उन्होंने अपना क्रेस्ट दिखाया, तो आई थिंक वो सारी चीजें बहुत मोटिवेट करती है आपको। बस अब कल है कि कल आप कितना और फ्रस्ट्रेट कर सकते हो ऑस्ट्रेलिया को, क्योंकि अब नया बॉल भी अवेलेबल होने वाला है 6 ओवर के बाद। तो वो चीज है, अगर आप 6 ओवर भी रहते हो, आप 20-25 रन भी और कर देते हो, मोर देन इनफ है। आई थिंक ऑलरेडी आप लोग कर चुके हो, आप लोग जितना चाहिए था उससे ज्यादा कर चुके हो। नाउ इट्स हाई टाइम कि क्या आप ऑस्ट्रेलिया, मतलब मैं तो, हमने आज जब हिंदी लाइव की शुरुआत करी थी, हमने तो इंडिया की जीत से शुरू किया था कि जैसे आपने पर्थ पे इन्हें 104 रन पे ऑल आउट कर दिया था, या जैसे लॉर्ड्स में विराट कोहली ने बोला था लेट्स मेक दीज 60 ओवर्स हेल फॉर देम, उसी तरह की परफॉर्मेंस चाहिए, और आपने कर रखा है। ठीक है, अभी हम बोल रहे हैं अरे यार अभी तो हार रहे थे टेस्ट मैच, अभी हम जीतने की बात कैसे कर सकते हैं। इस टीम ने पिछले 3-4 साल में ऐसी 2-3 जीत हासिल कर रखी है, आउट ऑफ नोवेयर आके एक बहुत तगड़ी परफॉर्मेंस डाली, 40 ओवर के अंदर सामने वाली टीम को आउट कर दिया, और उसके बाद आप देखो कि आपके पास अगर 250-300 रन है ऑन द बोर्ड्स, गो फॉर द किल, मतलब आप जाओ जीतने के लिए, जैसे आपने लॉर्ड्स में किया था, और जैसे आपने पर्थ में इनको जल्दी आउट कर दिया था, 104 रन पे आपने फर्स्ट इनिंग्स ऑल आउट कर दी थी। सो वो उस तरह की कुछ मोटिवेटिंग टॉक्स चाहिए जो एडिलेड में कोहली ने बोला था 2014-15 में। आई थिंक बहुत मोराल अप होगा इस टीम का इस समय पर मेरे हिसाब से।
Showing any realistic chance of Australia winning from here, according to you? Do they still feel they can pull this off, or they're like, nah, with no Hazelwood? Clearly, if they have to win, Stark and this fellow Cummins will have to bowl 70-80% of the overs, which means huge number of overs. Any realistic chance for Australia?
I don't see this because with just three, even without rain interruption, as you said, Australia will have to bat for at least 15 to 20 overs, and with just three feet bowlers, it is very very difficult. I mean, to get an international side out with 3 feet fast bowlers. I mean, 3 feet bowlers is a very very tough ask. I don't see, but and also, I mean, the thing is that Australia tactically, we have been talking about India's sport tactics, sort of allowing the game to slip away, stuff like that. But Australia, I am not taking into account the Adelaide Test. It was a pink ball affair and it was an aberration. But be it in Perth or here at the Gabba, Australia were not tactically were not up to scratch, and eventually they might be. I mean, as you said, Nathan Lyon scored 2 of 30 runs, and Pat Cummins said, "Carry on, Gary." So the thing, I mean, uh, Australia might be left to rule those extra batting hours, in hindsight, they might be ruining the decision to bat that long. And I don't see Australia winning it from here. No, no, absolutely not.
Gargi, you have the last word. And when we remember, all of us said, we were saying that the pink ball is a problem. India doesn't play the pink ball, and a lot of people were saying, "अरे excuse दे रहा है, ये देखो, फलाना करो, ठिकाना करो, pink ball का क्या मतलब है?" Let's put this in context. Akashdeep and Bumrah, despite all their heroics, do you actually think under lights with the pink ball they would have survived? I don't think so. If this was Pat Cummins and Mitchell Stark and the Australians in Adelaide with the pink ball, I don't think Bumrah and Akashdeep would have survived. That is the difference between the pink ball and the red ball. It is also mental. We can play the red ball. We've done this. Against the pink ball under lights, these Australian bowlers, Mitchell Stark, would have taken them out. That is the difference between the pink ball and the red ball. Gargi, final words.
100%. And India is more comfortable. And Rohit Sharma also did not shy away from saying this, that the pink ball was troubling them. It was difficult to sight and this and that. So it's natural, red ball is something you're comfortable with. You've played for years. Pink ball, you barely ever play. I think I don't even know the last time India played a pink ball test. But either way, red ball, when it comes to red ball, you look at the Australian and the Indian side, I think they're almost at level. Of course, it goes up and down, and the scales can tip in anyone's favor at any time. This is test cricket. But I do believe that this avoidance of a follow on and the chance of a draw means something big for India. And going into Melbourne, India will 100% have a psychological edge over Australia. It's about execution, I think, and that's where we sort of lacked. I expect a lot more from the Indian batting, though. That's where our biggest disappointments have been.
I agree. Rohit Sharma continues to disappoint. Hopefully, he will find something, somewhere, some inspiration, something to get his mojo back. Ashish, final question. Australia will ask McSweeney and Khwaja to grind India's bowling. They will not set any target. You think they are dumbos or what? That they will grind our bowling and we will keep bowling Bumrah at them? We will bowl Yashasvi Jaiswal after 20 overs. They can do what they want with Yashasvi Jaiswal's bowling. We will ask KL Rahul to come and bowl. Come on, man.
Rohit
On
Sharma
that
can
floor.
come in.
Virat Kohli
Rohit
right
Sharma
out
can
quick.
come in. And the this is anyway. I mean, let's not get into that. Tomorrow morning, 4:30 a.m. Gargi, myself, Shubha and Rohit, Devashish, all of us will be back. Huge day, massive day. Can India pull off a heist? As two of my colleagues are saying, I don't agree. I think it's a draw. But even if it's a draw, it's a moral victory for India. 4:30, folks, tomorrow morning. 4:30, massive, massive day in Brisbane, and it'll all set it up for that massive Boxing Day Test match, one of the most important in recent cricketing history, with all to play for in the Border Gavaskar Trophy. But as Shubhan said, let us play the 5 overs and get Australia dock those points, and WTC opens up. Thank you very much for watching. Gargi, Shubhan, Rohit, Shomik, and everybody who watched. Appreciate your company.